Hi guys, just a quick match reaction to the Japan versus South Africa game. Final score, South Africa 26, Japan 3, and overall I have to say South Africa deserved that. The second half they just completely squeezed the life out of the game, suffocated Japan totally, and took their chances when they came towards the end of the second half and got what they deserved. Japan, I think you could argue 3 points, only getting 3 points a day was harsh, considering how well they've played the World Cup. But overall, you can't complain. The better team won that game. I'm going to talk about the game now. Start of the match, it started with Japan being a little sloppy out the blocks and South Africa being clinical out the blocks, with Mapimpi, going over in the corner, just sidestepped the Japan winger, went straight over, scored the try, got him off to a good start. Japan got back into the game with a penalty. There was also an incident in the first half where the Beast put a tackle in, a tip tackle, where the Japanese player landed just below the tops of the shoulder and went to ground. I think the yellow card was the right call there. Wayne Barnes made the right call, because if you look at it, he lands just a little below the tops of the shoulder and he doesn't land directly on his head, and the Beast doesn't drive him straight into the ground. You can tell after he's made the tackle, oh no, I've made a bit of a mistake there. So I can empathise there, and I think Wayne Barnes got it right with the yellow card. The rest of the first half I actually thought was pretty entertaining, despite it being a low-scoring game. Japan came out with a lot of enterprise, tried to play like they have done the whole tournament, albeit not as to great effect. They made a few knock-ons, and South African defence was pretty solid as well. South Africa tried to impose their physicality, but they themselves made plenty of mistakes, and it was quite entertaining to watch for the most part. But the second half, the Boks just really showed their class, and they, for the most part, actually, all of the second half, they pretty much camped in Japan's half, and they just let their physicality tell. They just wore Japan down with a smart kicking game, with strong tackling, strong at the breakdown, strong carrying as well, strong at the driving mauls, and just absolutely squeezed the life out of the game, chipped the points over with the boot of Pollard. They just kept kicking the 3 points until they got themselves into a position where the space started to open up, because Japan just looked tired and out on their feet, and then they got 2 tries from Faf de Klerk, and Mapimpi got a second try as well. And that was the game, really. Overall, South Africa looking very strong. I think Wales are going to be concerned, but after looking at that South Africa performance, just how strong and solid they were. They worked out Japan really well to a T and how to get through them, and Wales are going to have to step up and be on top of their game to be in with a chance of beating this South African team with how well they're doing. Japan, they can be very proud of their World Cup. They've been great hosts. They've done brilliantly in their group game. I don't think too many expected them to get out the group, myself included, but I can say somewhat biased there, as I had my blue tinted specs on when I was saying we could get out the group into the quarterfinals, but it is what it is now. Japan, well done. You deserve to win the group. Just unfortunately, that second half today was a wee bit too much for yous. But overall, be proud. Hopefully World Rugby, actually not hopefully, World Rugby will be sitting up and paying attention, and they will, I have no doubt, look for ways to improve Japanese rugby on the whole, because Japan deserve a Tier 1 competition of sorts, and in terms of the methods of getting that, you could put them in the Rugby Championship, possibly, but again, that's for another day, and World Rugby should have taken note, so we'll see what happens there. But overall, well done Japan, good tournament, and great hosts. South Africa, definitely contenders to at least reach the final, and will be very tough to beat now, so well done to you, deserved win. And it was a good game of rugby overall, and it's been a cracking World Cup, as I said yesterday, and it keeps getting better. That's all I've got to say, guys. Thank you for listening, and I'll have some previews for next week's semi-final coming up. I'm going to see if I can go a bit in depth on them, but I'll see what I can get together, depending on how much time I get. And that's all I've got to say, really. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have an awesome week. Semi-finals should be crackers, and I'll be ready to talk about them. See you next week. All the best.